Hi everyone, I'm nice having you all here today. Right, all right, right. Welcome today. Um, yeah, well, welcome today. Um, our training, we continue the Microsoft Excel training, and today, we will be going to through the um, excuse me. All right, so we'll be going through some basic stuff that I want to learn one or two things. We started with basics over the last weeks, and today we'll continue with these exercises today. So I hope we're able to learn one or two things. Yeah. All right. So, like we've said, Microsoft Excel is a very powerful tool. It's very, very important, and many organizations are making use of it these days, and it's just so critical that anyone that's going to go far is going to just have to learn this skill. And it's just a thing of practice, just practice, practice and practice and practice over and over. And that's just that. All right. So today we have some stuffs before us today, and I want to we started with the basics last week about how worksheets, the sheets within the Excel, the interface pages where we make this, where we can save the files, and then we have the home tabs where there are lots of different tools by which we can make use of. So we want to start going to the practicals today on how to go about it and some of the things that the Microsoft Excel can do. Last week, if you remember, we said it's a mathematical tool. You can use it for many things. You can use it for calculating a lot of things. It is an analytical tool. And it also can be used as a storage tool. Basically, those are just the three. Then you can, presentations, you can make presentations with it. A lot of cool things you can do with the Microsoft Excel. So today we have this. I'm going to attach this file so that any one of us that wants to practice using it will be practicing with this, and then hopefully you can learn with it. So I'm going to attach it once I send it, or you on the YouTube if you're watching, you can look at it in the link below. You can download it, and then you can make use of it. All right. So like we said last week, we have the A's as the columns, uh, the alphabet, all this that you can see, they are regarded as the column. And then the lines that are this side, the one, two, these are referred as the rows. And then these triangles or rectangle cells are called cells. And they are actually tagged D. This particular one that is highlighted, you look at the row number and then the column number, and then you can use it to refer to this cell that is containing cell 188 is called D3, cell D3. Right. So today we'll be looking at various things. Last week we were looking at the basics. So today, like we want to go into the real practicals. This is where I know most of us that are watching would actually need some lessons on. All right, so if you are in an organization, of course, you need to first input this data on this Excel. So you have to open it. Of course, you should have the Microsoft Excel. It comes with many um, laptops, and some so you have to download or you have to buy this program. You have the Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint. So you download, you install on your laptop, and then you can input your data, maybe your business organization data for products, for a lot of things, for different processes. If it is in manufacturing from the beginning to the end, there are a lot of things you can do with Microsoft Excel. Is it the HR? Is it the admin? Is it the accounting department? Is it the factory department? Many of these organizations, many of the departments in this organization actually can make use of the Microsoft Excel. The HR can actually make use of it. You can input the data, the details of your staff into it, the column, the name, the surname, the gender, the many things, the salary, the start date, and all of that. And you can now process it. Use it to process and to bring out some information. You have imputed the data. Data are just facts that you have imputed into the Microsoft Excel sheet here. And then when you process it, it comes out as information. So you are processing it. That means you're applying some things, maybe formulas, you're asking the Microsoft Excel to do some things, maybe calculate percentages or calculate one or two things on it. Then when you apply that, it now brings out an information for you, whether you see. And this one of the things we want to look at it. So we already have raw data about this particular product of this organization. And then we have um, we have the selling price, we have the cost price, and we have the unit price. Now, someone will say, okay, this thing is not really clear. Can I assist in making it clear? Yeah, so you can click on the lines there to double click on it and it will enlarge, it will expand. So if you're having any part of your sheet or your data that has been given to you that is kind of hidden, that's just a trick. Or you could as well do something like this. You click on, if it is the whole sheet, maybe you have a huge data set, you can click on this side and then double click on the side. Now, let me quickly just do something about that for you. And there are times that you could have something like this, and then you are asked, as in you are given this kind of sheet, and then you wonder, how do I start? Well, the best way you can start is just come to this angle here, click on this part, then you just bring your cursor here, double click on this, and now the columns are going to open up, and then you come to any lines here on the row side, double click, and everything is going to open up, and then you can actually see all the data. So that's just a few trick that you can. There are simple tricks about Microsoft Excel that you can learn. You can always browse and learn these tricks to make. Of course, the whole essence of Microsoft is there is to simplify things and to make calculation processing of information quicker and faster. So we did that. All right, now, so we want to process this information now. So we already have this data. And the first question we're having is, what is the number of products this company is selling now? So you could see here that you have product D, B, D, C, and assuming you're having about 10,000 rows, this is just 23, about 30 rows here. You're having about hundreds of rows down. How are you going to know what number of products the company is selling? So there's what we call the filtering aspect. So the filter will filter everything that is in a particular column. It will help us to know how many items of the same are there so that we now have to start going through one by one and all of that. So we call it filter. So you can use that here. You can come to on the home page of the Excel. You come to the right side. You see this sort and filter. You click on it and then you click on filter. What this is going to do is to filter the number of products. You will see the total number of products that are in that column. So it has summarized everything. So it has gone through all that. So even if it is 10,000, once you do that, it will filter the total number of products and will tell you that you only have these products A, B, C, and D in this particular column and you don't have more than that. So the first question it could be answered, product A, B, C, and D. That's four. So you can say, what is the number? You can answer this question. What is the number of products this company is selling? The answer is going to be four. Dot dot A, B, see, right here, question. Yes. So that's the trick about Microsoft. It's automatically, it assumes that this side is continuing, this row is continuing. That's why it has bolded it for us and now, and it has centralized it for us. Yeah, just like, yeah. So, but if you don't want to centralize, you can remove this. But if you want to centralize, you click on this. You see, there's a control E also that. All right, so that's the first question. And that's answered. Now let's go to the second question. It said, what is the total sales value for all the products? So assuming maybe you're an upcoming accountant and you're giving this sheet now, or maybe this is just like a test in you're asked to find what's the total sales value for all the products. Now, the good thing here is that, of course, if you put on the filter, you can as well clean up the filter. So where you did the sorting of the filter, you can go back and then clear it by clicking on that same icon, and that sorting is actually good. So here you have what is the total sales value of for all the product. Now, if you want to know the total sales value of all the product, that means you have to multiply the selling price by the unit sold, and then you have the value, total value that you got. You sold 153 items of product B at what price? At 23.74. And then you multiply it to get the total value for that, and then you do for all that, and then now if you start taking the calculator you want to start doing it, it's going to take a very long time be able to do that. But that's one of the beauty of Excel. Within split seconds, within 2 minutes, this can be done. And so how are we going to do that? Now, because there is no space here, I'm going to create an additional column. And so this is another thing you can learn from the Microsoft Excel. You can create an additional column by inserting. So what I've just done, I've clicked on this column E, then I'll do a right click, and then I'll click on the button insert, and then the cell will move to the right hand side. And so you have a cell available where we can actually put total sales value there. So you can say sales value here as the title for this column. And so here now, that's how to create a column, to insert a column. You right click on the particular fresh place where you want to insert, and then you open. You can insert columns in any places you want to. You can insert here in the middle here, and you can insert anywhere, but I don't need that. So I do a Control Z, Control Z, and then it goes back to. Anyway, so to get the sales value, we said you multiply the units sold by the price that the unit was sold. And so that's where we come, the formula start coming in, and these are just the simple formulas now. So what you want to do is you are trying to say that in this cell, you want to you want this cell to show the value of product D selling price in that's in column C, column two, row two, times the unit sold in column D. So that means you're trying to say what you want to have here is going to be equals to, should be equals to this multiply. That's the star sign on the keyboard times this. So that's your selling price multiplied by your unit sold, or your unit sold minus, sorry, times the selling price. And so once you press enter, you are already telling the Microsoft Excel to multiply what is in that cell B, to multiply it by what is in cell D2, so that it will give you what is you want it in E2. So once you press enter, or you press the downward button, this is going to give you the value. So this here is going to show equals to D2 multiplied by that, and that you already have that. So that's the value for product E in row 2, column B, D2, B2 times D2. And so you have the value. Now, instead of us to start doing that over, down, if you have 1,000, 20,000 rows, you can't be doing that. So there's what we call the filling. And then Microsoft Excel is so good at this thing. You bring your cursor here, automatically it can calculate for hundreds of rows automatically in seconds, in seconds. So what it's just going to do is just to just to copy down the formula down, and it's assuming that you want it done for all the cells now in that same column. So you bring the cursor here, and until it turns from this white to this black cross, then you double click on that black cross at the bottom corner. Now, and once you do that, it's going to auto fill down the multiplication formula, and it's going to multiply and give you the values for all the others in that same table. So you double click, and then here you have it. So automatically you have that. So you come down, it does for this 30 product. And so here we now have for each of all these items that were sold. So if you will now want to know the total value, the question states that what is the total sales value for all the products. So we come down here and then we sum them up. Yeah, we sum them up. Now, do we need to start taking a calculator? No, Microsoft Excel doesn't do. So there is a formula here. You can go on this same home tab here. Is here, this sign is the summation sign. So this sign, once you position this, where you want the total to be, of course, should be an empty space, and then you bring your cursor to the sum sign. Once you click on it, it's going to kind of prompt you that, is this what you want? Do you want to sum from E2 up down there to E31? Yeah, if you say yes, then you press the enter. If you are comfortable with that, what it's simply saying is going to sum up all the cells in E2 to E31. And so once you press enter, it's going to give you the total. So the value, total value. So you have that value. All right, so now let's make this more cleaner. And then, so I have, you can say currency. So you change this to currency, and then, yeah, you're going to have that figure. This is in pounds because of where I am here. So I can bolden it. So I come here and click on this button, and then it boldens that figure. Yeah, you can change this column to different currencies. Yeah, we can also learn something from there. So you come to these pointer, this one of the places on the home tab is the number format. You can click a lot of things. You can change the date format, time format, percentage. But we're looking at currency. So right now you can go to more format if you want to change to different currencies. So you have the options here. We're looking at the currency. So, and then you come to the symbol aspect here. So whatever country you're looking for, if you are from Nigeria, you look for maybe Hausa or Yoruba. There's Spanish, Chinese, yeah. So we have Fulani here, we have Hausa, we have Igbo, you have Yoruba. It's in Naira. So if you click on it, this is going to change automatically. You click OK, everything here is going to change to Naira. So, and if you want to change it to Chinese yen, you come back to, you're not clicking on the currency, you come to the number format. And then once the currency is already highlighted, you go to the symbol side and then you check for Chinese. Chinese, that should be ABCD, ABCD. Yeah, Chinese yen. And then you click on that, and then you click on the OK. And then it gives you the Chinese currency. All right, but we want it currently in pound sterling, so we can come back here, more number format, and then it's highlighted, currency is highlighted, and then we come to English, or you could English pounds, good, English, that's the United Kingdom. This is the United States. We're looking for the United Kingdom. Usually shouldn't be long. I hope. Yeah, we've picked one or two things. Yes. So I'm looking for the pound sterling currency. Someone asks us, okay, so this is the pound sterling. So now it's in currency right now. So someone could ask, so why are we not changing every other things? No, because the unit sold is not in currency, so it's only the vessel value. So we have it. So if we want to answer this, we would say this cell should give us is equal to this 549,000 pounds, and then we have it there. We have our answer. So let's go to the third question. So I hope we've been able to learn one or two things there. Yeah, we've learned about how to insert the column. We've learned how to uh, do the addition, the summation, and then we learned how to change the currency. Now, what is the total cost value for all the products? All right. So we don't want to fill in this place, so we want to insert again. So you click on the row column and then you click on the insert. Of course, there are shortcuts formula that can use. And then we name this column as the total cost of cost value. And the cost value should be the cost price times the units sold of that same product. Right. So we'll multiply what it costs to produce one, which is 63 pounds, times the number of units. So we have it because we're trying to know what is the total profit. And to know the total profit or loss for this product, we have to deduct the total cost from the total revenue. So for the total cost value, we're going to multiply the units sold times the cost price. All right, so just like the previous formula, that's the sales value, we are going to multiply. So we're going to say this cell is going to be equals to units sold multiply by, which is the star sign on the keyboard, times the cost price. And that should give us that amount. So it's already assumed that that's what we want, and that's why it's bringing the currency. And then you want to double click down to be able to fill it in immediately what you are requesting you to do. You double click, you bring your cursor here. If it turns, that's the downward corner. Once it turns a black cross, you double click on it and it automatically fills up. So we know for each of the items there. So if you want to sum up the total cost value, you go come over to this uh, formula. Yeah, that's the sum formula. And it will prompt us to, do we want to sum from cell F2 to cell F31? We say yes, and then we press the enter button on the keyboard, and it's going to give us that automatically 396,000 pounds. All right, so here to answer the question, what is the total cost value of all the products? We say this is equal to this amount. And we press the enter button, then we have it. Right, so if you want to know the total profit or loss for all the products, now, we could easily just say this minus this here. But why? Because this is an information that probably the management will want to know. They will probably want to know one of the products maybe is bringing a particular amount, or is the one that's causing the loss, or the cost is too much, or the selling price. So we can actually create another column for each to be able to identify the profit and loss for each of the products that was sold to. We create another column by inserting, and then we type into it the total profit or loss column. So you have it there. And so what we are intending to do here is that I want to deduct this cell is should be, we're telling the Excel to give us the difference between the sales value minus the cost value. So this is just the formula. So you say this cell is equal to sales value, amount that was sold, minus, that's the minus sign on the keyboard, minus the cost value, which will give us the profit or loss. Note that I didn't say cost value minus sales value. I say sales minus the cost value, so that we'll be able to know whether we are making profit or loss. Any negative from there, that means it's a loss. So once you have this figure, obviously from this first line of product D, that means there is a profit here, 9,007. So these are, sorry, I think there is an error here. Yeah, this is an error. This cell should be able to give me, this should be equals to sales value minus cost value, pressed enter. Yeah. So you see the sales value here is less than the cost value. What it costs to sell this product, what it costs to produce this product is 9,000 and the amount we sold is 3,000. So we have a loss of 6,000 pounds on it. So now we can't be doing that as usual. You said you bring your cursor here and double click so that look for the order. So we can say there is a profit here. Here the sales value is more than the cost. So we have an excess here down. So if we want to check whether we made an overall profit or loss, obviously we would have seen here that the selling is more than the cost. And so, but to sum up this together again, we come to this part and this cursor to sum sign, and then we click on it. And we're asking it to sum all the things that in the cell G2 to cell G31, and we press the enter, and then it gives us, if we deduct this amount from this, it should give us this 152. To be sure, let's say this is equals to this minus this. It should give us 152,931. Yeah. So we have that figure and we are sure. So that's the beauty about Excel. So if you're asked what is the total profit or loss for this, for all the products, say it's equal to this particular amount. Right? So that's the good thing about Microsoft Excel. So we'll be able to answer basic questions. We've done multiplication, and when we've done the subtraction, we know how to do the subtraction now. And then we know how to sort. Yeah, just how we're able to know the total number of product, and that's by filtering. We did a filter to be able to know the total number of products. So, and the filtering is one of the good things that you can do if you want to say, you want to filter to know all the values of sales that was done maybe for products, just product B. You click here or product A. You just click here and say we just want to know for product A. It's going to come up here. So we'll be able to identify for product A here easily all the product there were so we easily can know the sales value here, and that's by just sorting. Now we want to quickly let's remove this. Let's now do the next level of what I can chip in here or we can learn from it, and that's the power pivot. It's another thing that the Microsoft uses. Microsoft Excel is so strong at it. Instead of you trying to do it, it does the summary, it summarizes it for you, and you can see the power pivot on the insert tab. Yeah, and you have what we call the pivot table. Now, to do a pivot table, you need a kind of table, and the table must be recognized by the system. So you have to highlight a particular table that you want it to do the pivot for you to help you do the calculations, a lot of things. So we have a table here. We already created this table just now. And so, okay, our time is going to be up in the next 10 minutes. So I just want to be quick so that we can see what we can do. All right, so I just highlighted that and I'm asking, instead of me to do the pivot table, I want to ask the Microsoft Excel to give me recommended the table from what I'm giving it to in that table. So from here, it's going to do a kind of analysis for me here. So let me click on this place. Yeah. Now we have, yeah, this is what we call the power pivot summary. I want to remove, this is this should be the total cost price. Sorry, the total sales, that's the 549. I did not ask it to include it. I don't know why it included it. But usually before that, the table should have been clean. So I'm going to remove this and then I'm going to insert it as a table. I just want to see the beauty of this pivot now of the Microsoft Excel. So I'm inserting it as a table. Now I'm saying it's okay. So I've created a table with it now because it's with a table that it normally works best with. So I'm asking the Power Pivot to actually create a pivot table for me. So it's going to summarize. So what the pivot has done, it has summarized everything for me here. The sums of the sales value for all the products. If I have to start saying, okay, start summing product A, product B, it's going to take a while, but the pivot table had done it seamlessly for me. Now, if I ask it to do for the cost value also to include it in this table, I will drag this table here and bring it here. And so it's going to show me for each of the products the corresponding cost value. And then if I ask it to show me for the loss also, sorry, the profit or loss, drag it here and it's going to also show me. And then that should sum. Now, what this does is that easily we can see a lot of things about the product, the four products, that summarize the total product in that table, everything. It has given us the total sales value, the cost value. We can confirm that as we've done. That's one of the good things as a Power Pivot. The pivot table is one of the strong tools in the Microsoft Excel, and everyone needs to know it, especially if you're a numbers industry person. It helps to do some quick summary for you. Maybe your manager needs an information immediately and you have about 10,000. You quickly just turn them into a table that the system at Microsoft Excel can read and then do the pivot. Then the summaries that you need or the information that you need to be presented, you begin to put it in. Here, we don't need the cost price. We don't need the unit. So we just need the value. We just want to know, maybe the management needs to know which product has the highest cost. Now, for all of this product D has the highest cost, and it also has the highest sales value. And by that, normally we would have said because product D had the highest sales value, it should be the highest one contributing, but contributing profit. But unfortunately, you see, no, it's product C that is contributing more profit. Look at it, it's contributing £66,000 than the £50,000 of the product D that had the highest sales value. So this is the beauty about this. And also we can ask the pivot table to create a kind of graph for us. And this is some of the things that we will be doing in the next tables, in the next modules, next class. So like we'll learn how to use all of these fields. Um, this is also beautiful. We have the chart here, so I just want to see, can we use this chart? It's recommending this chart for us. So let me just say, produce this chart for us. Easily you'll be able to know. I hope we can see it clearly. Yeah. So want to present to management. Me want to present the graph to your management. Your management will be able to say, okay, product A, product B, product C, product. Which one is this is the profit. The green sign is for the profit or loss, and then the red sign the cost, and then the blue is the sale value. So we can see for product C is the ones that its profit is higher than the others. So that's the presentation aspect. So we've we've done a lot of work processing on this table that we had initially. Initially, if you remember, this was not how the table looks like. It was only about three lines, yeah, about four lines for the product, the selling price, the cost price, and then the unit. So we inserted this to create the cost sales value. We inserted this to create the cost value for, for all the products, and then we did this, inserted this to create the profit or loss one, and then we answered all these questions. Then we did this, what we call the pivot table, also to give us a graphical representation of, of, of what we have just done. That's the beauty of Microsoft Excel. And we are just starting. We're just starting. Yeah, we just. All right. So I'm going to stop here for today because our time is up. So please, if you have any question, please feel free to be able to send in your questions and your requests. If you want us to do some explanation in one or two, please send it in and be able to do that. Thank you for joining today again. So lovely to have you here. So good to have you here to learn. So we'll go to an higher module, how to use some of the conditional formatting on the Microsoft Excel in the next class. And I hope to see you there. Please, you can share, like and share on the YouTube, please, on my YouTube page, and you can also subscribe on the YouTube. Thank you once again, and I'm wishing you a lovely, 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 lovely weekend. What? Lovely, lovely weekend. Please don't forget to share and to subscribe.